I will now speak briefly about real side dream recollection, but particularly a few interesting methods I have attempted to employ that have, alas, met with failure, though full marks for creativeness. Did you ever have real side experiences where you are in the midst of the guides or Duane, and dialogue is being exchanged, and naturally this is a dialogue to be paid attention to? Your personal self rubs its created hands with glee at the prospect of receiving awareness bolstering insights that no other individuals, the length and breadth of creation, can provide. And yet you may find you either cannot hear what is being said, as though someone muted the volume, or the words are hard to grasp, cling on to, and retain on waking. When returning to the physical, the overall reason for this is that experiences that take the form of scenes, situations, and involve audible dialogue are creationally based, and your personal self is well equipped then to perceive them. Dean Val said a month or so ago, and it rather has stuck with me, that if you can see it, touch it, taste it, or hear it, it is creation, and not the true reality. Life is. The true reality is invisible to the personal self, a reality all of its own, but it is real, unlike the fabricated, simulated reflection that is creation. As we stand in creation with our personal created selves, as we become more aware and recognize this true reality, yes, we will have real side experiences that we can see, touch, and hear, and as essential as they are for our awareness, they are then, by their very nature, creation-based. As moments go by, our real side starts to incorporate more of that which flows from the all is, that way of being, for the is everything, and is not broken into little individual scenes and dialogues, and it is more a case of reading impressions that add detail to our real side experiences. Sometimes you can have entire experiences where one thing is happening on the surface, yet something else is occurring behind it, much like the all is a subtle reality obscured by the overlapping creational experience, and you can rather have two experiences at the same time. One that your personal self is designed to perceive, and one that your real awareness can decipher through the impressions that stem from the true reality it is a part of. This then explains why, as an example, dialogue may be absent or hard to decipher. In these situations, it is an impression-based exchange, and we ought not overstrain our personal self-ears, for there is nothing that the personal self will be able to hear in such scenarios, and naturally it rather makes sense for the guides to have us in such conversations, but that they are presented in this being to being impression way, that we must stretch our recognitional awareness to decipher. We may, however, attempt all kinds of means and methods to recollect what was provided, especially if we partially hear words. If the exchange is a combination of impressions and creational dialogue, say, in one experience, during such an exchange, that was partially personal self-audible, I actually was writing the words in the air on the real side, and then highlighting them in gold as an aid to memory, but on waking seemed it was all for nothing. Next time I will have a parade of elephants holding signs up with the wording inscribed. I suppose my idea was a little along the lines of how the guides over exaggerate experiences to get our attention, as this is a very common and effective tactic that they employ. On a few occasions, too, I have tried to recollect real side experiences in a similar vein. I would actually write the experience down after I had had it while still on the real side. But this doesn't seem to help much either, and indeed can actually interfere with your real side awareness trainings, as you take a personal self time out to record the experience for any consideration, concern, anything that isn't just a state of being isness, is the personal self. So if we engage the personal self, we step into the reality bubble of what we are generating from it on the real side, and obscure the experiences we may have that require more so this being nowness, real awareness state, or block them entirely. So I rather stopped employing such methods, although recently I've formed another irritating habit. I will be in the midst of a real side experience, and it's a good one. It's one to be recollected and shared. We have dragons, adventures, high seas, missions across the cosmos, and then I reach for my notebook and write it all down, content in the knowledge that I can write it more thoroughly later in the day, and so I have no need to cling onto the memory of it, and off on the real side experience I will go, and then I awake in the morning. I look to my notebook of my real side related escapades, and find I am met with an empty page. The dawning realization, as I have been occasionally doing of late, that once again I thought I was recording the experience on the physical level between real side sleep phases, but actually I was recording it on the real side, and only thought I was doing so while awake, because on the real side you can recreate anything you want, and my decision was thus to recreate my bedroom, my notebook, and the recording of the experience upon it, an accidental situation stemming from my want to record my experiences. And then, of course, I'm racking my personal self-memory vehicle for the fabulous experience with castles, dragons, high seas, and missions across the cosmos. So really, just a mention of how, if we get a little too intense with certain aspects of our process, these are personal self-considerations, concerns, and anxieties, and we can cause all kinds of funny phenomena and situations to occur. Best to always just be now, be okay. Let go of any personal self-concern, and deal with each moment as it comes up.